Unit 1. Plague. The athlete has been plagued with injuries in the last few years. Alienate. The teacher alienated John from the other students in his class. Contentious. He avoided commenting on highly contentious issues. Susceptible. Birds are susceptible to many diseases. Exacerbate. This temporary measure will only exacerbate the situation. Exodus. The lack of affordable housing is causing an exodus of young people. Animosity. We're rivals, but there's no personal animosity between us. Predicament. His company is in a serious financial predicament. Liquidate. The bank was forced to liquidate its assets. Rationale. The party leader explained the rationale for the bill. Adamant. The politician was adamant that he would not resign. Clique. The boy formed a clique with some of his classmates.
Replicate. The students replicated Galileo's experiment. Lucrative. He wants to run a lucrative business. Hindsight. In hindsight, my forecast was too optimistic. Vindicate. The new discovery vindicated his theory. Trait. We inherit physical traits from our parents. Liaison. They are working in close liaison with the local police. Ransack. Burglars ransacked 3 houses on Chester Street. Proponent. There are a lot of proponents of this theory. Meticulous. He has been meticulous in his planning. Blatantly. The trial was blatantly unfair. Hamper. The rescue operation was hampered by the bad weather. Asylum. He was granted political asylum in the United States.
Attribute. This piece is attributed to Bach. Confiscate. The police confiscated his computer as evidence. Substantiate. The experiment results substantiate her theory. Gregarious. I think Italians are generally gregarious and open-minded. Quell. The riot was quelled by the police. Acrimony. The manager's acrimony made players nervous. Tenacious. The occupation forces faced tenacious resistance from people. Stifle. He tried hard to stifle a yawn during the class. Offshoot. This group is a direct offshoot of the association. Diagnose. The patient was diagnosed as having the flu. Entice. The TV commercial enticed many people to buy the product. Conjure. To many people, Paris conjures an image of romance.
Solace. He lost his wife and found solace in his pet dog. Hassle. It's a real hassle to fix the flat tire. Myriad. The adventurer has overcome a myriad of difficulties. Stringent. More stringent standards are required to ensure food safety. Alleviate. I had surgery to alleviate back pain. Onset. This treatment may prevent the onset of the disease. Caustic. She made a caustic remark about the other candidate's policies. Lethargic. He always feels lethargic in the morning. Rampage. A group of youths went on a rampage through the town. Ongoing. It is an ongoing investigation, so I can't reveal any specific details. Dispute. He attempted to settle the dispute between the 2 countries. Elusive. The giant squid is an elusive deep-sea creature.
Infer. I inferred from what she said that she had not been well. Morale. We discussed how to improve staff morale. Frivolous. He is a frivolous womanizer. Albeit. They accepted the compromise, albeit reluctantly. Extol. He extolled the virtues of lower taxes. Conjecture. What the detective said was pure conjecture. Ultimately. Ultimately, the election results were as I had expected. Manipulate. They manipulated her into signing the contract. Commitment. The president met the commitment to the employees. Catalyst. The oil crisis acted as a catalyst for searching for ways to save energy. Eschew. She eschews any party that requires dressing up. Demise. This treaty led to the demise of the whaling industry in Japan.
Sporadic. Sporadic fighting continued after the rebel army surrendered. Propensity. Genetic propensities influence our behavior in many ways. Sedentary. I have a sedentary job with little time for exercise. Tantamount. To say nothing is tantamount to absence. Wane. His enthusiasm for his job will never wane. Resurgence. The release of the new book has led to a resurgence in the author's popularity. Mar. The event was marred by bad weather. Corroborate. The attorney got evidence to corroborate the defendant's story. Elicit. This questionnaire is to elicit information about educational expenses. Squander. He squandered his fortune on sports cars. Rout. The party suffered a rout in the general election. Reinstate. He was reinstated after being proven innocent.
Admonish. He was admonished for neglecting his duties. Recuperate. He is recuperating from knee surgery. Subdue. The police subdued the suspect after a violent struggle. Engender. The Prime Minister's remark engendered considerable controversy. Detrimental. This reform could be detrimental to the tourism industry. Override. The City Council overrode the decision taken by the committee. Secede. Finland seceded from Russia and became independent. Deter. A phone call deterred him from committing suicide. Verdict. The jury returned a verdict of not guilty to the defendant. Aggravate. Job stress aggravated her disease. Tepid. The coffee turned tepid while I was talking on the phone. Breakthrough. The new technology has enabled breakthroughs in efficiency.
Respite. The battle continued without respite all day. Confound. The vigorous protest from environmental groups confounded the project. Dawdle. Hurry up, there's no time to dawdle. Mortify. He was mortified at what he had done. Implement. The new service was implemented as planned. Congregate. Many people congregated to hear the politician's speech. Enforce. They have the right to enforce the contract. Lavish. The singer lived a very lavish lifestyle. Zenith. She was at the zenith of her career as a pianist then. Incentive. The coupon gave incentive to customers to buy from them. Renege. The politician soon reneged on his campaign promises. Envision. They tried to envision the future of their community.
Perk. The company offers great employee perks. Frenetic. Many people are tired of the frenetic pace of modern life. Salient. The doctor explained to her the salient points of the disease. Homage. The new champion paid homage to the defending champion. Forge. The two countries forged an alliance during the war. Gorge. The Grand Canyon is a gorge carved by the Colorado River. Mollify. He managed to mollify the angry customer. Resplendent. The queen looked resplendent in a pink dress. Plight. This article focuses on the plight of refugees in the camp. Deem. Fire prevention activities are deemed beneficial to the community. Precarious. This country's economy is in a precarious situation. Clout. The queen has no political clout.
Diminish. The lake's water level has gradually diminished. Adherent. The actor is an adherent of Tibetan Buddhism. Exuberant. The crowd of nearly 1,000 exuberant fans cheered the team. Litigate. The company is preparing to litigate over software patents. Denote. Red numbers denote a decrease in revenues. Rebuke. I was rebuked by Mr. Hill for cheating on the exam. Enhance. This would be a good opportunity to enhance the company's image. Nonchalant. The politician was nonchalant during the questioning by police. Petrify. She was petrified at the thought of making a speech. Lambast. The band's new album was lambasted by critics. Clench. I clenched my teeth and waited for the pain to go away. Debunk. That study debunked the prevailing view among historians.
Culprit. The police arrested the culprit in the act. Fraught. The situation in the office is fraught with tension. Nudge. I gave her a nudge when she began to nod off. Refute. Adam refuted their argument. Juggle. She is juggling her job with household chores. Dispel. My parents' presence dispelled my anxiety. Invoke. The man invoked his right to remain silent. Boisterous. The police tried to calm the boisterous crowd. Gullible. Have you ever considered yourself gullible? Defiance. The people showed defiance against the social reform program. Reparation. The country was forced to pay huge war reparations. Ostracize. The girl was ostracized by her classmates.
Exonerate. He was exonerated of the charge of murder. Mock. Students will be given a mock exam in preparation for the final exam. Soar. Our product's popularity soared because of the TV commercial. Deduce. Police deduced from the evidence that he was involved in the robbery. Faction. He united some imposing factions in the party. Insurmountable. Our development team was faced with an insurmountable obstacle. Accrue. Interest will accrue at an annual rate of 3%. Spearhead. He spearheads a campaign against gun crime. Lanky. She is short and stocky, while her brother is tall and lanky. Ultimatum. The UN issued an ultimatum to the country. Teaming. I left the teeming Shinjuku station. Adjourn. The meeting was adjourned for a week.
Impending. What can be done to avoid the impending disaster? Omen. I hope it's not a bad omen. Evade. He tried to evade his responsibilities. Intrinsic. Do you think that money has an intrinsic value? Referendum. Norway held a referendum on joining the EU. Drag. The singer was dragged into a drug scandal. Tout. He is touted as the best NBA player of all time. Accentuate. The actress's short hair accentuates her natural beauty. Pricey. That wine is excellent, but a little pricey at $50. Placate. He failed to placate the angry customer. Diffuse. The UN tried to diffuse the tension between the two countries. Altruistic. Saving someone's life at the risk of your own is an altruistic act.
Waive. She waived her right to appeal against the sentence. Inculcate. Their education inculcated the children with a sense of morality. Accolade. The movie director has received many accolades and awards. Succinct. He gave us a succinct description of the project. Arbitrary. Democracy provides a defense against arbitrary exercise of power. Affront. He took my remark as a personal affront. Defunct. That drug company was founded in 1830 and now is defunct. Bridle. He bridled at the suggestion that he was dishonest. Muster. She couldn't muster the courage to tell the truth. Mundane. She has led a mundane life. Negate. The existence of animals in this region has been negated. Feign. He tried to feign ignorance of the problem.
Aversion. The boy has a strong aversion to visiting the dentist. Longevity. Japan has one of the highest longevity rates in the world. Incur. The company has incurred a large amount of debt. Hype. The movie didn't live up to the hype. Covert. He took part in the covert operations of the government. Hoax. We've been fooled in elaborate hoaxes. Repercussion. High oil prices could have repercussions for the world economy. Taunt. They taunted me for being a coward. Wreak. The flood wreaked havoc on the crop. Disparate. These seemingly disparate events are actually connected together. Impeccable. She was impeccable in appearance and behavior. Infringe. Don't infringe on our privacy.
Delusion. He is under the delusion that I am lying to him. Stipulation. There is no such stipulation involved in the contract. Surmise. Scientists surmised that the object had come from outer space. Onslaught. The area continues to face the onslaught of rough weather. Coverage. The news received little media coverage. Languish. The letter has languished in her desk drawer. Curtail. They decided to curtail the personnel expenditure. Aptitude. The teacher found the student had an aptitude for music. Pervasive. Poverty is pervasive throughout the country. Reclusive. As she got older, she became reclusive. Concussion. The soccer player suffered a mild concussion during the game. Augment. We need to augment agricultural production.
Pitfall. Make sure you avoid the pitfalls of buying online. Neural. His research is concerned with neural damage. Provision. They added several provisions to the contract to prevent future troubles. Imperative. Up-to-date knowledge is imperative to this role. Curfew. The government issued a curfew throughout the area. Momentum. The campaign gained momentum when many signatures were gathered. Turmoil. The country is facing economic turmoil. Shun. She's a vegetarian and shuns animal products. Hub. Chicago is the hub of transportation. Hone. She is keen to hone her English-speaking skills. Cessation. The President announced a complete cessation of military operations. Archipelago. This archipelago comprises 5 inhabited islands.
Engrossed. He was so engrossed in the book that he couldn't hear the phone ringing. Innocuous. She wrote me some innocuous letters back. Preemptive. The country launched a preemptive strike against their neighbors. Frantic. He became frantic when he noticed the important documents were missing. Excavate. The archaeologists excavated the remains of an ancient castle. Undermine. A series of accidents undermined public confidence in nuclear industry. Overt. The 2 brothers showed overt hostility toward one another. Insulate. The cabin is fully insulated against the cold. Reprimand. His superior gave him a strict reprimand. Precursor. This fossil is identified as a precursor to the modern horse. Unravel. The detective easily unraveled the mystery of the case. Misnomer. It's a misnomer to call such people leaders.
Procurement. She is responsible for the procurement of goods and services. Negligent. The negligent attitude of the staff made the customer angry. Banter. He often has banter with his colleagues during breaks from work. Petulant. Stop acting like a petulant child. Gallant. My father was a good-humored and gallant man. Grueling. Everyone was exhausted from the grueling journey. Recoup. It took us 5 years to recoup our losses. Fugitive. The police finally arrested the fugitive. Feat. Achieving consensus on this issue would be quite a feat. Stealth. Stealth marketing is a kind of advertising done by word of mouth. Allay. She slowly counted to 10 to allay her anger. Debase. TV commercials are debased by the Internet.
Inundate. The TV station was inundated with complaints. Ubiquitous. Vending machines are ubiquitous in Japan. Baffle. She solved the problem that had baffled scientists for decades. Arid. Some plants are best suited to arid conditions. Outweigh. The advantages of joining the treaty outweigh the disadvantages. Vicinity. The missing cat was found in the vicinity of the station. Contingency. The prefectural assembly drew up a contingency plan. Stem. A new leaf grew from the stem. Circumvent. They tried to circumvent the law and hire illegal immigrants. Influx. Japan had a huge influx of Western culture then. Perpetrate. The man was accused of perpetrating an investment fraud. Equivalent. This site has an area equivalent to about 100 Tokyo domes.
Idyllic. The idyllic town in the Alps attracts many tourists every year. Bane. Piles of paperwork are the bane of my life. Delegate. She decided to delegate the job to her subordinates. Vie. Some people in the company are vying for the managerial position. Flawed. Critics say the plan is fatally flawed. Immunity. He was given immunity from prosecution for his testimony. Plunder. The pirate plundered all of the treasures on the ship. Divulge. Lawyers must not divulge confidential client information. Subvert. Their aim was to subvert the capitalist system. Spate. Thick fog caused a spate of road accidents yesterday. Proximity. A new department store was built in close proximity to the station. Inscrutable. He is good at studies, but I find him inscrutable.
Thrive. This kind of plant thrives in dry regions. Succumb. She succumbed to a heart attack while performing on stage. Dissident. Many political dissidents were sent to prison in those days. Disparage. She never disparages her ex-husband. Commiserate. I commiserated with him over his misfortune. Exude. He is always positive and exudes confidence. Salvage. The president is desperately trying to salvage his approval ratings. Perplexed. She seemed perplexed when she received the letter. Bemoan. She bemoaned the lack of a good Thai restaurant in her neighborhood. Protocol. You need to fully understand and follow the company protocol. Perforation. You can tear off the coupons along the perforations. Meekly. She meekly accepted the suggestion.
Fluctuate. The price of farm products has greatly fluctuated these days. Verify. The witness verified that what I said was true. Advocate. He is a leading advocate of political reform. Ramification. You should consider the ramifications of your actions. Disperse. Police dispersed the demonstrators by force. Indigenous. This region has a large population of indigenous plants and animals. Appall. The huge doll at the entrance appalled the visitor. Oust. The military-led coup ousted him from power. Propagate. He was accused of propagating false information. Restraint. She showed restraint in not mentioning the issue. Chore. We help each other with daily chores. Vilify. The soccer player was vilified by the media for his poor performance. Data file. Taxonomy. Primate. Ape. Amphibian. Avian. Carnivore. Termite. Lynx. Sloth. Thrush. Goby. Larch. Blight. Algae. Microbe. Zooplankton. Parasite. Fungus. Nucleus. Mutation. Genome. Inbreeding. Chimerism. Archaeopteryx. Ingest. Incubate. Deciduous. Kidney. Skull. Spinal cord. Cartilage. Shoulder blade. Brainstem. Prefrontal cortex. Immune system. Receptor. Gland. Thyroid. Membrane. Retina. Spine. Rib. Extremities. Womb. Saliva. Feces.